You know, this typical idea that guys, they have to be like tough and they don't show their emotions and so on, or they don't want to. For me, it was always like my role models were men. My mentor, my father, my grandpa, all those like greatest examples in my life, they were men. So I was really looking up to them and trying to learn from them. And my mentor said, you have to have a stiff upper lip. Yeah, you have to be cool. You have to take care of others and focus less on your own trouble, because you have others are many. Yeah, take care of them. Yeah, I fully agree. I think it's a great approach. Others are many and you're just one, right? So it makes sense to actually have a bigger picture, a greater picture, and really focus more on what you can do for others rather than your own problems. And therefore this has been my approach. Yeah. My father, he's really a cool guy. He doesn't talk much, and neither do I, actually. And I mean, I'm really my father's daughter. I look like him, I behave like him. We had lots of fun together, but this looked like that, you know. For example, we would go hiking together with my dad. Not my mother, she didn't like hiking. She loves traveling, but she didn't like hiking in the nature or something, going to the woods or walking around the whole day. Yeah? Neither did my sister. So me and my father, we left them somewhere on the beach, and we spent the whole day, you know, walking around, hiking, going to some beautiful places. Usually we would never talk, we would just walk. And yeah, this is how we spent our time together, and we loved it. We had fun. We both had fun. And then when he went fishing, I went fishing with him. We went together, two of us. Yeah. Well, when I became 18, I stopped fishing. Even though I was looking up to him as a role model, I was already like him when I was born, you know. So I didn't have to copy him, I was a copy of him. And the funny thing, they actually expected a boy, you know, and had a boy name for me. What a surprise. And the fact that I have a lot in common with my father doesn't mean that I feel less female or something, actually. Even though some female habits and I cannot relate at all. But in general, I feel female, and I only had heterosexual experience. So I don't think this contradicts, you know, the fact that I have always had male role models. Even though I also had great women in my life, but I never looked up to them in the way that I want to be like them. I want to be like them was always men. I want to be like you know, like strong and fearless, you know, cool and tough, something like that. This was really like my wish. So I think this is something that I learned from men, like in my life, that you don't show your emotions, you keep it cool, no matter what. Yeah. And somehow, I think it's not a bad approach, actually. You know, I don't know what you think, but you know, when something happens, of course you have some, you feel pain in your life. But do you have to take it so seriously, or do you have to focus on this so seriously? Do you have to take it as serious as it looks? Because when you pay your focus and your attention to something more constructive, you might even forget about your pain. And you might say, okay, you forget about your pain doesn't mean it's over. Yeah, maybe. But it makes you much more constructive when you don't take your pain so serious. Yeah. And this was always my approach. Like, I know what pain is, but do I really have to spend too much time on this? Or maybe I should switch my focus into what I can do for others, right? Nowadays, there are many people saying that men should open up, and it's not good that they don't talk. They should express their feelings and learn how to whatever. On the one hand, I understand the idea, yeah, because some men they don't talk until they suddenly something happens to them really bad, yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in my approach because I'm really good in ignoring my feelings, honestly, and kind of like not only ignoring, but not even noticing them, hiding them from myself. I can hide my feelings from myself better than from others. This I have learned this, that there will be always people who can see me through, yeah, even if I cannot, or even if I try not to show, yeah, because some people are just good in seeing others, yeah. Life has its struggles, yeah. Life is about a challenge, and sometimes this challenge can be dramatic or traumatic. And I had cases when I was like looking back and thinking, okay, it looks like I had a depression for a year. I didn't notice, but now when it's over, yeah, that was a depression. But I could function, and I pretend to myself that everything is all right. Instead, I could spend a lot of time thinking, talking about my pain, but why? Why? The good men in my life, they didn't do this. They didn't talk about their feelings. They didn't complain. They didn't open up. They did open up, but they rarely talked much about their struggles. They could mention something, but not much. Not much at all. Maybe I don't get something. My mom always said, "You're just like your father." She didn't always mean it as a compliment, I tell you, but for me it was. I'm happy to be like my father. And I had no patience for some female habits, and like if we would go shopping with my mom, I had no patience to check the whole everything. Let's check everything before we buy it. Like if we already see something which fits, why don't we just take it? And I would say, no, it's too much now shopping, I have to leave. And she would say, oh, you're just like your father, you know. You know, these small things like that, or in general, like she knows I would not talk too much on the phone or something. But when I'm there, I'm there. I visit her and I love spending time with her. But, yeah. But when you think around the world, there's so much pain going on. There's always somebody who is suffering actually more than you. Always. So I think having a stiff upper lip and maybe taking your pain not too serious, maybe it's a good thing. I dedicate this message to all the great men I've met in my life, and Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to learn a little, to open up a little bit more, actually, but sometimes it's easier to say something on YouTube like this than to say something in private. And at some point, I remember I was around 20, my father told me, don't become like me. Don't become like me. And I was thinking, well, it's a little bit too late, don't you think? I am like you, what do you like? And I was asking him, like, why do you say that? And he said, women, they become happy in a different way. And I was like, yeah, let's see. And honestly, I feel happy. And sometimes my father asked me, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And he said, okay, this is how we talk. Short talk, deep meaning. Yeah. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you also like thinking it's good to have a stiff upper lip and like don't focus too much on your emotions? Or should we learn to be more open and, you know, open up to others and take more time to look into the emotions? Because, yeah, sometimes it probably helps. But I have my own way and I like it. I find it great. And I've learned it from men.